Hey guys, what's up? NPS here and welcome back to another excited visual effect tutorial. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Let me show you what we are going to create today. Alright, so recently I was traveling and I visited a location in India called Dharamshala. So in the morning walk I visited a location and I shoot a clip to add something really cool. So in today's video I'm going to show you how you can easily do for the people who are more deeply interested learning visual effect and want to try out few more different technique to create visual effect. I made a course called Modern Visual Effect. It's totally based on visual effect where you can learn amazing effect which we commonly seen on social media and all. And right now this is available with 20% discount. The link will be in my video description. You can go there and check this course. It's really amazing, guys. I experimented a lot and then I combine everything in a course and I make it available for you. So anyways, if you can afford, you can go and check that course. Let's get started with this video. So we will track our footage inside After Effects and we will transfer the data using A to Blend add-on inside Blender, and then we will add clouds in a 3D vehicle just like a car or a truck, and then we will render it and we will bring the whole sequence inside After Effects and we will do some basic compositing, and that will be the end of the tutorial. So let's get started. So this is After Effects and this is our clip. I will simply drag and drop it here. By the way guys, you can use your smartphone or camera and just shoot your clip. Composition settings, you can see our width and height and our frame rate, and here the duration, and if you want to see by frame you can see 361 frames. So simply Ctrl D to duplicate, and let's pre-comp this footage and hide the below one. Let's double tap and go inside, and on here I will add a unsharp mask, and let's make 150 over here and let's make it 50 over here to add some contrast in our scene. And let's add a tint effect to make it black and white, and let's add a curse. Whole idea why I am doing this just because to add some more contrast in our footage, so that once I will apply 3D camera tracker effect, it will track it more accurately. Here in the advanced tab I will change it to the typical and enable detailed analyze and just wait. Alright, here you can see our tracking has been finished, and now you can see we have a lot of points available. We are going to put a 3D car and clouds on road, and here you can see that's why I really need points on the road. So here what you only need to do is just drag and select few points and right click, make it set ground plane and origin, and once again right click and make it create solid and camera. So now you can see we have a solid and also we have a camera. If I select this and increase the size, this is perfectly aligned. Hide this one and enable the real footage and apply a grade effect onto our solid, and let's press W and align it in a middle. And if you want you can also just like stretch this, and let me play and see. You can see we have perfectly tracked our footage. Now we are ready to add something into our ground. That's pretty good. Let me select our footage 3D camera, and here I can press I can select this and make it create null, so that I know this location in 3D world, and I can also create null over here. Alright, so we have enough nulls and also a solid. Okay, Ctrl S to save this project. And now we will use a plugin called A to Blend, which is not free but it's worth it. It's only cost you around $10. I will put a link in my video description. You can go there and download it. Let me show you how you can easily transfer the tracking data from After Effects to Blender. So let's open Blender, and this is A to Blend. You can go to the edit preferences add-on, and so once you download you need to click on to install button and just install it. Right now I already installed, so here you can see the interface. I'll go to the After Effects, I will select the camera, press U, and I will simply copy the position and orientation by pressing Ctrl C. Go to the Blender and click on this create camera, and it will add a lot of keyframe, and here you can see it created a camera with camera transform. Here I just simply drag one frame forward and as I mentioned earlier, our footage length is 361, so I will put it over here, maybe 362. That's it. Control, and next I will go to the After Effect again, and this is our ground. So let me rename this to the ground, and I will simply right click on this drop down and go to the transform and copy the anchor position, scale and orientation, and go to the blender and let's click on this button called create plane, and it will add a plane into our scene, and this is our camera. If I'll go click here to the camera icon, now you can see we have something like a movement going on with, and also a stable flat plane. So first let me select our camera, go to the camera properties, background image, add image, movie clip and open, and here I will load our footage. So I'll go to the location and I'll simply open my clip and go a little down and increase the opacity to 1. And if you start playing, you can see it's not properly sticking on the ground, and the reason because our focal length is 50. But if I'll go to the After Effect and let's double tap on the 3D tracker camera, here you can see the focal length is 32.83. so just simply Ctrl C to copy and go to the blender over here, Ctrl V to paste it, and now you can see is perfectly aligned on the ground and it's working very well. Now the only thing which I have to do now is just transfer all other stuff just like this empty. So I'll do the same, like go to the transform, copy, anchor position, scale and orientation, go to the blender, and here I'll go to the create empty and I'll just click and it will add the empty. Here I can make the size 12 or maybe 5 so that I can see where it is. And if I'll drag my scene and go to the perspective view, here you can see this is the location in 3D world, so it will help me place my 3D object over here. So let me quickly transfer all these other empties one by one. So alright, after this now I will press Ctrl S and save our project. Everything looks pretty good, and now we are ready to move to the next part, which is orientation, fix our orientation. So right now you can see this is the Y and this is X. So if you want, you can just rotate this and make these things little more, like I can change the axis. So the way you can fix the orientation, let me show you. Shift A and just add a cube and just double tap and let's make it control. So this will be on the top, and select our camera transform, and with holding shift I'll select the plane transform, that's it. And in the end let's zoom, and with holding shift I'll select this and press Ctrl P, keep transform. So now everything is parented with this cube, and if I'll press S, you can see on the grid everything is scaling. Ctrl Z, you can see. So this way I can fix the orientation also. If I press RZ, now you can see the axis. So this looks little good. If I'll press Shift A and add a cube, so now you can see this is the 2 meter cube. So maybe let me make it little more, scale it down. Let's add cube. Yeah, this looks little better now. Ctrl S to save, and yeah, this looks little good. So this will be our tracking collection mainly. Let's add a cube and let's move this into by a new collection, and this will be our objects. Okay, let me make a screencast so that you can see. Okay, press GZ and move it here, and if start play here, you can see things looks little, things look good. So I'll delete this, I'll select this cube, go to the tracking comp and just make it disable from viewport and render also. I'll select this plane, press RZ and rotate it a bit, SX, and let's make it SY, and I can scale it until it touch this empty. Here you can see. And here you can also see this is like here a little up, and these empties are in the ground, like it's touching almost the ground. So the location I visited is a hill station, and on that type of a location the ground is not completely flat. So that's why some areas are, you'll find some areas are flat, some are little up. Looks good. Okay, let's add a CG car. To add a CG car, you can visit Skillshare and you can download a 3D model and you can import it. So you can watch my other tutorials where I explained how you can easily download and import 3D models from from Skillshare or any other platforms. But in this case, I'm going to use a add-on which is from Polygonic called traffiq, which allows us to quickly spawn assets. So here if I'll go to the traffiq spawn assets, and here if I'll choose like classic car. Here you can see I can add any cars. If I want utility vehicles, here are lots of vehicles which I can use. So let's suppose if I use this Volvo bus, and I can pick the random color and hit OK. You can see I will not use this. I will simply change the model, but yeah, there is a lot more possibilities. And the good reason why I'm choosing this, just because this comes with a rig. So I wanna move this, if I'll go to the change this to pose mode, I can simply select a spot and I can change the vehicle. I will use something else. Let me press N and go to the span assets, and this is Ford F-150, and I'll just click hit OK, and now this is our Ford car. Let me make it just a bit, and I will also move it over here so that I have enough room to put clouds. And you can see this looks pretty good. I will modify it a bit and we will add a cloud, but before that, let's thanks to our video sponsor Skillshare. In 2023, Skillshare is still one of the best online learning platforms where you can join and start upgrading your skill or build your career. They reached out to me a couple of months ago, and this is what I was waiting for all along. I love learning and upgrading my skills, so in free time I started learning digital marketing. Recently I am watching about Google Bard marketing, how I can use a free tool from the Google Bard, and how I can write script, how I can ask a lot of questions which will build and which will help me to create a full marketing. And I am also curious about the full digital marketing. That's why I started learning this course, and this is going really cool. You may know Skillshare for classes in photography, film and video editing and illustration, but did you know Skillshare of 100 of career focused classes too? Let's suppose if you want to learn about the animation, you can go and watch animation from a lot of top level artists. Freelance and entrepreneurship, there are tons of classes too. Film and video, you can go and watch from industry top level artists who are sharing his method. There are tons of classes in every category. So thinking about our future can be intimidating. Let's take the pressure off by starting small. So if you want to build your career or upgrade your skill, Skillshare is one of the top learning platform you can join. The first 1000 people can get 1 month free trial of Skillshare if you will join through my link. The link available in my video description. Let me show you how you can easily customize this. So right now if I'll go to the pose mode, so I have a complete rig which I can utilize to do anything. So why not, let's create two different views. So I'll simply move your cursor here and just drag to create two views. One will be for the camera, okay, and one view for the perspective. And let's move it, let's go to the object mode and let's move it over here. Let's go to the pose mode and select this to just rotate a bit, because here you can see there is a turn, and I can select the wheels and just put them little down so that it can touch the ground. Or here you can see this looks good, and with this I can just simply make it a turn like this little bit. So this is the simple things which I did. Maybe I can just make it a turn like so. This looks good. What I will do next, I will add some clouds, and for the clouds I will use clouds from Inversion. I will put download links in my video description. You can go there and download. There are lots of free VDBs available, so I will try to import them one by one. So shift A and go to the volume, import open VDB. There are 10 different types of clouds available. So first I'll select the cloud 10 variant, import open VDB, and press M and move them into a new collection called clouds and hit OK. Now press S and make it scale it down and just make it more down, RZ, and just put it over here, make it more short, okay, like this. I'll press shift A once more and import another VDB, maybe version 2, just scale it RZ. So basically I'm trying to fill this space with clouds so that it will look like the vehicle is carrying a lots of cloud and some are fell down on the ground. So I will add one more, variant 5. Alright, so there are lots of cloud now in the scene. What I will do, I will simply select this both two and move them into our clouds collection, and I'll press Shift D and GXGY and put them on the ground like this. So here you can see it looks something like this. We will arrange it, but first let's move to the lighting part so that we can see how it is look. Let me make it a preview to show you. So this looks really maybe if I can just rotate it a bit more to cover this space. So this looks really good, so you can see. Alright, so let's move to the lighting part. So I will change this view to the rendered view and go to the rendered properties and change this to the cycle and CPU to GPU, and onto the world tab I will load our 360 environment. So I'll go to the environment texture, open and load our 360 environment. Here I have to rotate our 360 a bit, so I will change this to the shader editor and make it to the world. And by the way, first I can disable all these clouds so that our scene can load up little fast. Select this texture and press Ctrl T to enable node wrangler, and let me rotate this to the 270. So you can see this looks little similar. What I can do more, I can press -0.3. So this looks little similar what we have in our footage, but here you can see the reflection is too green. So I can add a hue and saturation node over here and make the saturation to 0.6 and maybe boost the intensity to 2. So there will be more light, and I will go down and go to the film and enable transparent so that you can see without our 360, and this look little good. I can select our ground plane and change this to the object and create a new material, and this will be our ground. And on here I will just select our color and I will go to the tracking, plane transform, and disable the plane and select the base color and choose this white. So it will be little similar. Maybe you can use the same texture, but in this case I am not interested to use the same texture, but you can use at least the same color or a similar color so that it will bounce back and looks more believable. Here I will just change this plane, select the plane, go to the object properties and go to the visibility and enable the shadow catcher. So now plane will no longer visible, but it will catch the ambient occlusion and shadow. So this looks good so far. I'll Ctrl S to save. First I'll go to this solid view, and now I will load up our VDVs. So enable everything and let's change this to the rendered mode, and you can see our scene is loading very slow. To speed up, what I can do, I'll go to the scene and here enable render region, so it will cut down this area. Then I will go to the render properties, and on the viewport I will enable the max sample to 32, and the noise threshold is, this looks good for now. Enable denoising, so it will start denoising, but I'm going to remove this. Go a little down, and for the light path I can use the volume 2. So when I will add more bounces in volume, so it will start catching light inside the volumes. So definitely you can tweak it a bit more if you want, but this looks good for now. I'll go down and there is an option called volumes, and here in the step rate render I will change this both to the 4, and max step I will change this to the 512. Okay, the next thing which I wanna change is the size first. So let me select this and let me just keep tweaking the size. If your machine is able to render more clouds, you can definitely do and add it, but this looks little good, and I'm not going to add more VDVs inside my comp. So this looks good for me. The only one thing which I wanna change in this scene is to add the color, to change the color of this VDVs. So let me select everything here and also the car and just move it a bit, just a bit over here. Okay, so now looks good. What I can do more, I can add a plane over here also, but I'm not in a mood, so I'm not going to add. But the way I added the plane over here, you can also add some. So first let me select one cloud and go to the object properties in the shader editor, and let's click on this new button, and it will automatically add a principal volume node. And here I will change the name of this shader to cloud. What else I will do, I will select all other cloud, and in the end I will select this last one and press Ctrl L and choose link material, so it will apply the same material, same shader to every other object. So here are the fun part. Now you can play with the density, like I can make the density to 0.4 and it will make the cloud little less dense, and this looks pretty good. The only thing which is not satisfying me is the color of cloud. So here I can choose the color and I can bump this and it will change the look of color. The second thing which I can do here is to add little variation into our clouds, just like we see in reality. Just like there is some area which is catching a lot of light, and there is some area which are not taking a lot of light. So I can boost the anisotropy to 0.7, and this almost make it little good, but I wanna make this more bright. Bright in the color. So let's increase the density a bit, and on here I'll press Shift S and move our cursor here. Then I will simply press Shift A and go to the light and add a point light and move this into the cloud section, and go to the light properties and let's add a 1000 watt of light. So it will add light over here, and let's make the radius 2. Let's make it 100 or maybe like 500, just to add some light into our scene. These simple things looks pretty good. How you can customize it even more, so you can simply Shift D to duplicate the light and maybe down the radius to 1 and change the color to maybe something a different color, and just put your light inside any cloud like this. Maybe even down the radius more and down the amount, the power of light like this, maybe like a 50 watt, and make the radius 100 watt. And I can Shift D to duplicate the light and put it over here. Let's make it down. I just wanna put the light inside the cloud, and I will maybe change the color to a different color. Shift D one more time, and let's put this over here. And on here I can maybe change the color to like a green or something like a yellow or maybe pink. So this way it will look more organic, and this will look more natural and good. So yeah, this is the it of the video, like how you can easily add. If I'll go to the if I'll change this to the timeline, if I'll play, you can see it will not update quickly, but you can see if I will hide everything, this looks pretty good. If you are not sure how it is looking, you can just simply change few settings, like you can down the resolution and you can render these things, and definitely it will look good. Let me show you the render settings which I will use to render. So I will go to the render. Here, this is the output. 1920 by 1080 is pretty good. You can make this 50 and it will render in half resolution of this. So let me make it 100 because I'm going to render it fully, and then I will go a little down and change the frame rate 29.97 because our footage frame rate was 29.97. Make sure the frame start and end is correct. In the output section you can select a dedicated location where you wanna export, and this is all good and you are ready to render. You can maybe down the compression and enable the color depth if you wanna be more precise. And this is pretty much for this area. If you wanna export it into passes, like if I'll change this to the shadow catcher, I can render shadow catcher separately. But in this scene I don't think I need the shadow catcher pass separately, so I will simply decide a location, and this is pretty much it. Maybe I will down the compression or just increase the color depth to 16. This looks amazing to me. And before rendering you can render a single image and see if things are looking pretty good or not. Once you are happy, just click render and render animation and it will start rendering. So and in the end guys, what you can do more, you can add extra layer of detail, just like we added some lights, like colorful lights inside the cloud. You can add more details, like you can put a signboard over here and add a different text or any specific text over here, or if you wanna add more stuff you can just add it. So this is it for this part. I will finish the rendering, and I will see you inside After Effects. So our rendering has been finished, and now we are inside After Effects. Let me show you one thing. So this is just a single image. You will have your full sequence. So let's drag and drop it here. Okay, so here you can see this is how it will look. I can add a course effect, to add some more brightness and everything. Okay, and then you can add few things, and then you can render it. So let me import my sequence first, and I rendered it in .exr. So I'll simply click on this import button, right click, interpret footage main, and make sure to match the frame rate is necessary step, and just drag and drop on top of your footage. It will look black, but in your case it will not look black because you rendered in PNG sequence. So let me add a extractor. So here I will add a exposure and make it 3, and now it looks so let's make it to 2.7, and this will be like color. Let's select the color and press Ctrl D, and here I'll go to the layers and make it shadow. So it will add shadow. Here I can maybe down the exposure, and make sure to keep this, rename this to the shadow, and just put this below the color layer. So color layer will be on top of this, and now let's change the shadow blending mode to the multiply, and here we go. So this looks little good. See, what I can do more is I can just simply add the exposure and maybe make it 2, so there will be less black area, and you will notice some noise. Here you can see flickering noise and all things. So this can be fixed if you'll bump the sample. I rendered the whole sequence in 256 samples, so you have to increase it a bit more, and probably that will fix it. Select the color, and let's add the coarse effect, and I can also load a selective color here, and I will select the red, and on the black I can just adjust it. I will select the cyan color, probably the blue, and add some more cyan. Let me try to add a denoiser. Let's hope if it will fix the glittering. And the noise level here, maybe I can make it 0.03. Let's see, it's not working. Maybe just put it just below the extractor. Looks good, but not the best. So maybe I can just delete the VR denoiser, and maybe you can bump the samples in Blender so that it will add. Here I will add one more time curve, and I can select the ground, and I can add a selective color over here, and I will choose the green because there is a lot of green. Alright, so this looks good. What I can do more, I can create a new adjustment layer on top of everything, and I will add a lumetri color, and here I will adjust my footage overall. So maybe I can just bump the exposure a bit, or maybe I can just add some contrast, and the creative here I can add a vibrance to 45, and saturation 115, and let's select everything, and maybe I can just pre-comp this, and yeah, let me play and check. So saturation looks a bit hard, and here I will also add a noise, not actually noise, it will be like grain, and I will try to match the grain. So maybe size is, and change this to the final output, so it will add grain everywhere. So let me see, maybe I have to desaturate. Select this, and I will add simply hue and saturation. So I will simply down the saturation a bit, and I'll copy and paste this into the shadow layer, and here I'll just down the saturation a bit more. Okay, alright, so this is the final look which you can see on the screen. Definitely you have to match with the noise, or you can go inside the Blender and fix things. So I hope you really enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you learned something. You can subscribe our channel so that we can grow fast and make some more crazy videos. Hit the like button, share your genuine feedback, what you feel after watching this tutorial. If you are able to make something like this or anything, feel free to tag me on my Instagram. Use #NPSready or #NPSready. I will love to see your videos. Wish you all the best, and I will see you next time. Thank you guys. Keep working, keep smiling. I will see you next time. Bye bye.